All three of us together. Woohoo! Three amigos.
Small
peoples. Small peoples. I don't know why I'm pointing this way because I'm on the left. It's all right. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of REV Sports Wrap It Up. I don't know if I said that correctly, but it's the same thing. Doesn't matter. I am Josh Mabry alongside Sol and Tishka. How are we doing, guys? We made it another week, and it's always a pleasure.
Doing good, doing good. I'm ready to be here with my boys.
Yeah.
Yeah!
She froze with the gate. She froze
out the gate, freezing up.
We got the freeze. Look
Internet.
how
I'm with my boys.
Yeah. All right, stick with us, guys. For some reason, the internet in Miami-Dade County is kind of sucks. For some reason, we don't know why. We're gonna blame it on the drag racing that goes on outside of our house every night.
Mm-hmm.
You think with all the cocaine that it would be a little bit faster,
right? I mean, the cars are. But they don't run on that.
I'm just gonna have my internet freebase cocaine. Maybe that's what will help it out.
There we go.
Exactly. Speaking about freebase, and this has no reason to go talk about the Reds. But anyway, we're talking about some baseball. We're gonna run them bases because playoff baseball is almost here. And so you definitely will see me just. There's gonna be a lot of Moneyball. There's gonna be a lot of Field of Dreams watched. It's going to be a lot of Sandlot watch. I always like to go through my baseball movies leading up to it to just get me in the right headspace and also distract me from the 17 leagues of fantasy football that I'm in on that. But as far as the Reds go, guess what? Different weeks, same story. They suck. They can't reach 500. According to ESPN, they're not eliminated, but they have less than 0.1% chance of making the playoffs. So, to quote,
so you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, so you're telling me there's a chance. It's not eliminated, so you're telling me there's a chance. Columbus took a chance, but he also died in prison. But that's no here nor there. But any of that, the Yankees look pretty good. Your Red Sox are struggling; they might not make it. The Orioles still.
We beat the Yankees one of the games, one of the three. So I mean.
Yeah, the Dodgers look really good. The Phillies obviously look really, really good. The Mets are creeping up. They are they're right there on getting in. Your Royals, how are they looking? They're right there in the mix, aren't
we're
they?
right there. Yeah, we're in the 5 spot right now.
Yeah. And the White Sox, they suck, but they suck so bad that we're looking at them losing the most games I've ever seen. I think they've won 35 games all season. It's ridiculous. Sell the team, man. You don't know how to anyway. And any other things before we move on to the football?
I think you covered it.
All right. Well, it's time to hug it, chug it, and football. So just to kind of run through again, we just run through and I kind of go over storylines and stuff as I go through the games and the scores. But typically, if you want to go down to player individuals and stuff like that, join us on Fantasy F Around with me and Tushka every Monday at 9 o'clock Central as we kind of watch and see us sweat out that Monday night game and see if we can pull off a victory in one of our 32 fantasy leagues. And also join us over there for any questions you may have about start, sit, waiver, all that jazz, or type of league that you're in. We're there to help you out. So kind of going through the football, we have the Bills beat the Dolphins 31-10. Now, the score in the game, it's kind of just not the story. It is the health of Tua, who got another scary concussion. So far, they have just not placed him on injured reserve, and he's going to see obviously a bunch of brain specialists, head specialists, whatever you want to say. How you want to call it. As you know, I'm not good at pronouncing medical terms or reading medical terms. So just say the head doctors and not therapists, like actual brain doctors, head surgeons, whatever, to check him on that. Obviously, we want to look out for, as McDaniel said in his press conference, the main thing he wants him to be a quarterback is at home. So that's what, McDaniel is obviously classy in his saying. So just we hope the best for Tua. And, he is a human being. He is his own dude. He can make his own decisions. I would lean towards, I like to see Tua 20 years from now be able to speak coherent sentences.
Yeah.
Just kind of throwing that out there. Before we move on to the rest of the stuff, any thoughts on that Tua situation, if you all want to touch on
it? It just makes me sad because he was such an exciting prospect. And then also seeing him coming out and speaking.
Oh, it's gonna be she gonna speak and drop some knowledge, people,
Mhm.
when she gets back in 5 seconds.
Don't even know.
Don't even know.
I froze again. I was speaking so eloquently about Tua. Um, we, as a Miami fan, we were excited for him, and then him then coming out and speaking about Brian Flores and Brian Flores not believing in him, and then speaking about Mike McDaniels and Mike McDaniels believing in him and him having a much better season under Mike McDaniels when Mike McDaniels became the coach, and kind of you're seeing him prosper and flourish, and to see a career end, even if like I'd rather have it end in him still have his mind and health, it's always sad to see.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's going to end. He can make that decision for himself, but it's still sad either way.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I don't think it's going to end.
no.
They put him on IR. I mean, the dude has battled it. I mean, sometimes you can be a little more susceptible to those things. I mean, I know myself whenever I played football in high school, freshman, sophomore, quit sophomore year, but head injuries was kind of a big part of it. I mean, I had multiple concussions, and it was costing me starting spots because I would have to miss the game and not really get that play time to prove myself. So, but for Tua, I mean, he's a warrior. I mean, I think he's gonna go out there and at least finish out the season, and then in the postseason, that might be the time where he can really kind of take all the load off. Because right now, I mean, there's no way he can get away with go away from it. It can be right there in his face every single day. And I can't imagine for them, how much on silent they have to put their phones and their notifications. I mean, I would probably just have a whole different phone, just
Right.
just to not have anything downloaded. But I think he will stick around for the season, in the postseason, make that decision. But you hate to see it because they are a firecracker of a team, man. They've got such a high-powered offense. I mean, last year they put 70 points up on the Broncos or something, like absolutely insane.
72.
And I mean, for fantasy owners, I mean, it's a huge loss because then that greatly affects production for every team.
But who cares?
But I mean, just in the reality of the sense, man, you just got to know what your limitations are. And sometimes it's time, sometimes it's just preference. But I think for him, there's a little bit of a limitation as far as some of his head trauma and just him being more susceptible to that for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But
we're
definitely sending out prayers and love to you too.
Yeah. Yeah, get well, dude. And in more aspects than just being on the field, just get well and making sure you're good for your kids and family.
This one's for you.
There it is. So moving on, kind of running down here, upset. Vikings beat the 49ers 23-17. The Vikings look very, very good. Seahawks beat the Patriots 23-20. Manders beat the Giants in 21-18. 18 points, which means no touchdowns, all field goals. The Giants scored 3 touchdowns, allowed 0 touchdowns, lost the game to a bunch of field goals. NFL. Yep. Chargers beat the Panthers, Saints 26-3. Saints beat the Cowboys 24-19. Packers beat the Colts 16.
What was that? What was that? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I mean the Saints and Derek Carr. I mean he's definitely been in the driver's seat. They put 44 points on their opponent.
No, sorry, you're breaking up. I can't. What'd you say?
Yeah, no. What they did was they lost. The Cowboys fucking lost miserably. Okay, my bad, Doc. My bad.
Just because your Chiefs won back-to-back Super Bowls and they freaking win everything.
I'm in the producer chair today. Don't mess with me, man.
Anyway,
team, man. You lost as a team, man.
Yeah. Ciao, please. Packers beat the Colts 16-10. Browns beat the Jaguars 18-13. Jets beat the Titans 24-17. Will Levis still seems to have these weird plays that are funny but bad. Buccaneers beat the Lions 20-16, where Jared Goff threw the ball 50-something times, and you have the best offensive line and 2 great running backs. Run the damn ball. Raiders beat the Ravens 26-23. Cardinals destroy the Rams 41-10. Marvin Harrison Jr., welcome to the league. Chiefs beat the Bengals 26-25. They won, guys. Quit talking about the refs. Steelers beat the Broncos 13-6. Texans beat the Bears 19-13, and then the Falcons came back and beat the Eagles 22-21. So a lot of craziness. Not a lot of undefeated teams. A lot of 1-1s out there. And so you're already seeing that. So I think as far as the Dolphins are concerned, that 72 Dolphins already got the champagne out, and I think by week 4 we won't have any undefeated teams with that. So congratulations to 72 Dolphins. I'm calling it now. There's not going to be an undefeated team this year. I wasn't expecting it anyway.
I mean, settle down. I mean, we still got the Chiefs, bud. Okay.
We got
We're
some.
going for that three-peat.
So anyway, 72 Dolphins.
For all the belts, all the titles.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, kind of pick out a couple of these. Huge upset with the Raiders over the Ravens. That one just coming out of nowhere. And then definitely, I think it was an upset for sure. The Buccaneers against the Lions, even though we really thought the Buccaneers would have won. The Lions are showing a little bit of holes in their defense, unfortunately. Maybe they just need to eat a little more kneecaps. But yeah, some really good upsets. It's week 2, so we're kind of a little bit in the upside down. I don't know if we want to watch that video or watch it later. But yeah, man, it's getting weird, and I'm here for it. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, what is known is the unknown, basically. With that, but I mean, the Bucks and the Lions, they met in the playoffs last year, and it came down to the last couple plays. So this wasn't really surprising to me because it's not like their Buccaneers got worse in the offseason.
No,
I think they kind of improved, and so did the Lions. Kind of filled some holes and stuff like that. So, and it's early in the season, so we'll really start seeing these teams kind of figuring it out. But obviously, the only outliers here, the Giants and the Panthers, are just that bad. So that's what I've got there. Yeah. Anything, Sol? For the Huckets and Chuckets before I move on to the collegiates, Huckets?
Let's go to college football.
All right. WKU beat those a-holes known as MTSU 49-21. Florida still stinks. Congratulations, Billy Napier. You got ran off the field by Texas A&M on your own field. You're done. So unfortunately, I don't like to see anyone lose their job, but when they're not good at it, that's what happens, especially that. Florida State drops 3 in a row. They're suing the ACC because they're trying to get out and join a big conference, and they were griping, and they were sued the NCAA for not making the playoffs last year, which I think they did. But guess what? Karma's a B. There you go. You lose 3 in a row. You haven't won a game. We're getting ready to get in week 3, and you're already 0-3. It's weird. It's week 0. I don't know why. Then we have now. And then Georgia had a scare at Kentucky. It basically some coaching decisions and stuff like that. But I mean, it was crazy. LSU somehow or another pulled it off against South Carolina. But the main thing that I kind of want to touch on was there were some really, really egregious calls on roughing the passer, and I think it had everything to do just to kind of. I heard this take from Josh Pate. He basically said, I think it had everything to do with Tua's situation. And when Tua got hurt like that, you see a lot of overreaction even through, we got to protect these guys because we need to protect our sport. So there was a lot of roughing the passers that were called that were just tackles. It wasn't anything like shot to the head or anything like that. I mean, obviously what happened to Tua wasn't some like crazy, really bad hit, but I think Tua is just a different story based off of his situation. But there was one where they got a guy for targeting and he hit him in the butt. Like, what are we doing here? And then there was one where it was a big play in the South Carolina LSU game where the ball was picked off. So the quarterback now becomes a person that you're blocking. And the guy turns around and just pushes the quarterback down. He flops. They throw a flag for roughing the passer. How can you rough a passer when you've already changed possessions to the other team? So and that basically led to LSU being able to come back and win the game. So yeah, the refs were definitely a big part of that. Another thing.
We even got Jeremy Miller here saying South Carolina got screwed over hard by LSU and the refs.
Yes, they did. And that was definitely probably my favorite game of the week. I mean, it was just back and forth, turnovers, bad plays, good plays. I mean, it was just a solid mid-tier SEC football. Not what LSU was hoping for, but and South Carolina had many chances to close that game out. They just couldn't. And then Louisville was off this week, so we just played ourselves. So that's pretty much what I've got. We've got a big slate coming back,
Mhm.
coming into. I mean, game of the week is going to be with the Sooners, and
Yep.
as Texas, that's their first SEC game. The Sooners against Tennessee, and it's going to be at Oklahoma, which is kind of crazy because the head coach for Tennessee was the last starting quarterback for Oklahoma when they won the national championship with Josh
Yep.
Heupel. So it's just a weird homecoming for him with
Yep.
that. Yep.
Lefty Lucy.
Yeah.
Josh Heupel, incredible coaching career.
Yes.
I mean, he was a coach at, I don't think it was UCF or U.
Yeah, it was Central Florida.
Yeah,
Before he got
Florida.
the Tennessee job. I
And,
forget where he's at before.
Yeah. But I mean, a lot of upsets there. They did not have an upset last week when they ransacked Kent State, 71-0. And Oklahoma struggled with Tulane, edging it out 34-19. So, not a whole lot of high hopes here in Sooner Nation. But at the same time, man, I mean, it's any given Sunday.
Saturday.
I mean, hopefully, you learn from your near losses or your losses and failures, and just get yourself that much better. So we'll see. It's going to be exciting. I mean, that place, the Palace, is going to be lit. I mean, there's probably just going to be campers and barbecue, probably for like a 10-mile square radius around that complex.
Yeah.
But,
and the thing I gotta tip my hat to Oklahoma because this year they've started between the third and fourth quarter. They come out and do a tribute to Toby Keith, and they do they pick courtesy of the red, white, and blue. Obviously, has a song that should have been a cowboy, but the Oklahoma State mascot is a cowboy, so that was off the table, being their rivalry. But they always have someone.
Would have been good too.
Yeah, I mean, there's better. They might choose one each year. I don't know, but it's a really cool sight of just, especially at night when when the way they do it and all the light camera phones and everything like that come out. It's pretty cool. So shout out to Oklahoma. It's a really, really cool gesture, remembering the great Toby Keith there. But we're really kicking in gear. And my thoughts and prayers go out to anyone. I think it's November 12th weekend. We have like the greatest slate of college games I've ever seen. And so thoughts and prayers to all the people out there who have to go to weddings on that weekend, because they're not going to pay attention to you. They're kiss the bride. Come on. We got to get,
Yeah.
So, yeah, that just to run in on that bit of why do you schedule weddings during football season? It's because it's really good weather at this point.
Dude, yeah,
that's why.
Yeah, I'm looking at that slate too. That's gonna be a good week.
Yeah, it's ridiculous slate there. So we got that, and that's all I got for football for this week. If you all want us to touch on some other things with football, obviously, like I said, we kind of just run through the storylines, the big storylines and stuff like that with football. As far as the NFL, if we go through all the individual stats and stuff like that on our fantasy show on Mondays at 9. So that's all I have.
Every Kutch commercial during the Tulane game was people playing cornhole. Yep.
Yeah.
People giving up on the game. Yeah. Yeah. I put it in the private chat, but I guess I'll say it out loud. We want to watch that video real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So each week we're gonna be having a premiered video, basically, edited by myself, and this be for the fantasy fuck around. But it's just gonna be for fantasy football in general, because everybody can relate to this.
Prissy, this is from you.
That's right. Don't drink a roster, everybody.
Yeah.
Know what you're doing.
Don't join a dynasty league.
Oh my God, no. I talked to my therapist about that today.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
She's like, "Well, what else is going on?" And I was like, "Dynasty football." She's like, "What?" And I was like,
The real problems.
I was like, it's just like nonstop notifications. I'm always having to mute it and just freaking out because we don't have anything on the waiver. Like, kind of like explaining it to her, and she's like, "So why do you do it?" I was like, "I don't know. I don't know."
Yeah. I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there at work today, like trying to talk to somebody about like how debt to income ratio works, and I'm just like, all right, so you have your debts, you have your income. I am not doing that trade, Tushko. Don't even talk to me.
Right. Oh my God, man. So many terrible trades we've gotten.
Yeah.
It's probably retribution for me sending out some bullshit trades last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So if I ever leave the team, I'm sorry. My therapist asked me to.
Hey, we're only 2 weeks in. We're already talking. We have to go to the anyway. So, long story short, it's fun just for the stories on it, but it is a full-time job. Anyway, moving on to basketball.
Oh,
So lead us off. We're speaking about getting to playoff baseball. The WNBA is getting to their playoffs as well. So lead us on to what we've got as we close out the season.
Let's pray for my internet real quick.
All right.
So Las Vegas Aces played the Indiana Fever twice this past week, with the Aces winning both games. The first was an 86-75 with Asia Wilson breaking Jewel Lloyd's single-season scoring record with 27 points, 12 rebound, double-double. She also breaks the 1,000 point in a season. Just no one has done that before. Asia is. She's the MVP. We'll get into it. The second was 78-74 with CC breaking Alyssa Thomas's single-season assist record with an 18.10 assist double-double. Asia had 15 points, 17 rebound, double-double in the second game. Just like these two, you got your MVP, you got your Rookie of the Year. Yeah. It's pretty much decided. But let's watch the plays where Asia and Caitlin break their records.
Yeah. Here's the first one. Oh. She did it.
She did it.
Yeah.
Did the damn thing, man.
Did the damn thing.
There's a funny moment of, this is a meme that existed from last season, and I love that it's being brought back, but now this time for Asia breaking Jewel Lloyd's point record.
Yeah. Oh shit. What's up?
Yeah.
All rise, motherfucker.
Yeah. I can just hear a glass break in the background.
Yeah. Oh my god! My god, that's Asia Wilson's music!
It's Asia Wilson! Oh god!
She's come here to break another scoring record.
Oh look, she's running down she's only got one right leg.
Yeah. Here's Caitlin Clark.
Just like all them assists.
Facilitate.
She was doing a little no look on that one.
Right. I wonder if she's going to tan in the off season.
Probably not.
I am all right. I know I'm getting to the last video, but it just dawned on me. It's just a question for you all. That first Fever playoff game, depending on when it is or who they play, what do you think the rating's going to be for that?
Through the roof.
Yeah, I mean, like talking about like just viewership or
yeah, because they're going to compete against, and that's the big thing is that they're competing against football. So we really see the power of where they are now.
Yeah.
I still think it'll be high.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
At least 10, you know.
And I think with any of those, I don't even think they take an average. They'll probably just take like the highest point of when people are watching, and if it's a close game, more people are going to tune in. If at the end, if not, then a lot of that's going to be in the beginning for people to see the tip off.
Yeah.
And just for fun, Chelsea Gray, she's the no look pass queen, and I just wanted to show this play because I'm just like, she's saucy.
Mm-hmm. Do, 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 do. This is the music that you're gonna listen to from my voice as we sit here and watch Chelsea
Yeah.
Gray have a really cool F and pass.
I mean, come
Chelsea
on.
did. Yeah.
And we saw that all through the Olympics, and she's just like, I'm gonna continue this. This is what I do. I'm just cool.
Whee! That's just saucy.
Saucy. But I want to speak a little bit more on Asia. Not only did she break the scoring record, she also broke a record that was broken a little earlier this year. She broke Angel Reese's single season rebound record with 451. Angel has 446. Fortunately, Angel will not get that record back because of being injured. On a side note, Derica Hamby also breaks Lisa Leslie's single season rebound record for the LA Sparks franchise with 361 so far, and she's fourth overall for the year. Asia is also on her way to having the highest single season player efficiency rating with 35.23 of any player in basketball history, male or female. She's better than Joker, better than LeBron, better than Lauren Jackson, Candace Parker, Elena Del Don, and countless other NBA and WNBA players. Like, she's not just breaking WNBA records, she's breaking basketball records.
Yeah, I mean, Caitlin Clark, she, like I alluded to before we went live today, about how like records are made to be broken, and the score, and what Caitlin Clark is on is Diane Taurasi, at least just all-time scoring record, DT holds that. She did it in 20 years. She's on her 21st year, and it looks like it's never getting touched. But the way that Caitlin is going, she might break it in 12, which is crazy. Kind of the same thing. It just took, and like I said, Pistol Pete, he's still the all-time points scorer in college basketball history. And Caitlin Clark technically did out. She is actually in all collegiate sports as far as basketball, men and women. Caitlin is the all-time scorer in NCAA basketball history. So this doesn't surprise me because, for one thing, Asia is just that damn good.
Yeah. And I just want to look. Asia is the best basketball player of all time, male or female. Let's look at some of these stats. She's first in points per game, first in field goals made, win shares, offensive rating, offensive win shares, player efficiency rating. She's first in blocks, first in rebounds, first in defensive win shares, and she's third in steals. Like, just these are her stats for this year. Crazy.
If her and Bam are actually a thing and they end up having a kid, I wonder if they have a gender reveal party, if just random collegiate coaches just show up, like for the men's and women's, because they don't know what it is. They're like, all right, and just have letter of intent ready. Just like, all right, it's a boy, and then it's like Rick Pitino out of nowhere. Hey, so anyway, just bear with me here. I'm still gonna be coaching 18 years from now, so let's just go ahead and get this done.
Right, but just unequivocally MVP. She deserves it. It's hers. Going on, we have the Fever then win 110 to 109 to the Dallas Wings. Cece drops 35 points. Kelsey Mitchell with 30. Arike and Sato Sabali both dropped 27. Natasha Howard had 26.10 rebound double-double. Then we have Tina Charles. She continues her double-doubles with 20.10 rebound double-double in Atlanta's 76-73 win against Washington Mystics, and a 16.14 rebound double-double in Atlanta's 86-70 win against Chicago. We have Brianna Stewart goes off in the Liberty game against the Lynx with 38 points and 18 rebounds. Unfortunately for Stewie, it wasn't enough for the Liberty to win, with the Lynx beating them 88-79. Other than Sabrina Ionescu, no other Liberty player was in double-digit scoring. So, I didn't watch this game, but I can assume that it probably was like Stewie and Sabrina playing really well, and the rest of the Liberty kind of like, we got first place. We don't need to play. We can just kind of chill. First place is ours. We have Aces continue their winning streak, beating the Sun 84-71. With Asia was 1 rebound away from a double-double with 29 points. The Phoenix Mercury beat Chicago 93-88. BG got 26 point, 10 rebound double-double. DT dropped 25 points. They still got it. Still got it. And then Natasha Cloud got an 18 point, 11 assist double-double. Outside of the stats or the games, but the Las Vegas Aces sold out their season tickets for 2025, becoming the first WNBA team to ever sell out of its season ticket allotment in back-to-back seasons. But tomorrow is the last day of the regular season before we get to the playoffs. If the standings stay the same after tomorrow's games, these are the matchups, and I want you guys to put your predictions on the line right now. We got the Liberty versus Atlanta Dream, number 1 versus 8. Who you going, Josh?
Portland Trailblazers. No, I'm going the Liberty. I mean, they're my favorite. I've been about halfway through the season where you can just tell they're making that next step. With Ionesco and I always forget her name.
Stewie.
I don't know Stewie. Yeah, Brown Stewart. Jesus, come on, brain. One day you're going to remember. Of all those names that you have in your head, I blame fantasy football. That's it. That's what I wanted to say. I'm blaming fantasy football. There's too many NFL names in my freaking head. But I'm going with the Liberty. I mean, they're my favorite to win. Anything is, any given Saturday, Sunday, or whenever they're playing during the playoffs, and obviously it's best of 7 series. I think the first.
This is a best of 3.
3. Okay. And it doesn't it with the finals a best of 7, or is it always?
I think it's best of 5.
Okay.
So but we'll double check that for you guys. Let us know in the comments if you know. Tushka, you going number 1? Or you going an upset?
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, hands down the Liberty. I mean, the Dream may not even make it in. I don't think it's fully solidified just yet, right? So
yeah,
they're a game ahead of the Chicago Sky and Washington. Can't remember what their team name is. Mystics, thank you. No, hands down, Liberty. Stewie's gonna run.
And we got number 2 Minnesota Lynx versus number 7 Phoenix Mercury. We have Nafisa Collier with a quietly good year with the Lynx, and the Lynx quietly doing really well, but not getting a lot of media attention. And then you got DT and BG. Who you going, Tishka?
I gotta go DT. I mean, I know it's a long shot. I mean, like you said, the Lynx have not gotten a whole lot of love in the media. Them being Minnesota, it's a small town market. I mean, come on, let's go DT. Finish strong. Let's get something for the accolade for your legendary status. Yeah.
What do you think, Josh?
I mean, I have to go with Minnesota. They're just they're so fun to watch. They move the ball so fluidly. They know their cuts. They're very well coached, and it just feels like every time you think you chip away at them, it doesn't matter what punches you throw them. Just feels like they have an answer for it. So I'm gonna go with Minnesota based off of that. Even though Phoenix has the name players, but kind of going back here is kind of relates to the NBA. Minnesota is kind of like the Pistons when they won it with they're the only NBA champion team when they had their 75-year and they had the 75 best players in NBA history and whatnot. None of them were on it. They're the only NBA team so that's the power of a unit, and that's what Minnesota is. And it's the power of the unit. The power of the unit's always gonna be better than one individual. So that's why I'm going with Minnesota.
And they got the Olympic gold medal coach coaching them. Now the next matchup, if things stay tomorrow, Connecticut Suns number 3 versus number 6 Indiana Fever. Who you going with, Josh?
And this is what everyone wants is the Fever.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been on a roll, yes, and they've been up and down, but this one in the next matchup I am really interested to watch, because I think the other two are gonna. I think obviously Liberty's gonna sweep whoever they play. A Liberty, but with Minnesota, I just think they're a better team. But just Fever in Connecticut, and then the next one, I'm leaning towards the Fever just because they're playing very well right now.
Who you going with, Tishka?
I mean, storyline you want the Fever, but I mean you got to give the Suns their due as well. They've had a heck of a season, and the Fever. I mean, as of late, I mean, they haven't been able to get past the Lynx. them being able to get past the Aces. So I mean, the top tier teams they've struggled with. But I believe in the last outing against the Sun, the Fever did take it 80-84. So I mean, it's definitely a really good proving ground and year for them. I just think they're going to fall short, but that's just going to make them that much better of a team next year whenever they do a championship run.
I see this match a lot of the matchup of momentum, because the Connecticut Sun had the momentum at the beginning of the year. They went, I think they broke the record of undefeated games in a row at the beginning of the year, and then the Indiana Fever have the momentum right now. They had a bad start to the year, have better momentum, so it'll be interesting if momentum is going to play a factor in this game. So that's going to be a fun matchup. And then the next one I think is going to be a super fun matchup. Number 4 Las Vegas Aces versus number 5 Seattle Storm. Tishka, who you got?
I mean, come on now. It's the Aces. I think it's the Aces championship to lose, honestly. I mean, no disrespect to the Liberty. It's just they're on a tear as a team. You can just tell they're having a lot of fun. And I mean, I'm really just kind of looking at, the Chiefs. They're the NFL, and it's just like the ones that are like doing it and having fun doing it. It just seems like that stays with them attitude-wise into the playoffs, and that just equals longevity. It's the ones that kind of are bickering or a little bit too hard on it. Usually kind of crumble at the end. So I like the Aces in it, but the Storm absolutely incredible, and it's going to be a good matchup. I mean, you really could throw any of these 8 teams kind of in the mix. Maybe not the Dream, but everybody else.
And Josh, who you got?
Yeah, this is probably my favorite matchup of the first round, easily. Just because you've got Skylar Diggins out there talking shit to Kelsey Plum the whole time, and the way Seattle plays, they muddy the waters. So they're coming out there, they're gonna punch you right in the mouth and just say bring it. And if you can't take their punches, the thing is they got Asia Wilson. So I mean, until Asia shows me that she's not one of the greatest basketball players I've ever seen play the game, I'm going to go with the Aces. Plus, I how I feel about their coach on the court, not off the court. There's a difference of opinion there. But as far as on the court, how I feel about Hammond. So until the Aces lose, I'm pretty much picking them. But I'm really looking forward to this matchup because Seattle, it's just totally two different brands, styles that they play. And I always like that scrappy team that isn't the prettiest thing to watch on film, but they're still fun to watch because of the way they play.
So if we do have a rematch of Liberty Aces as the final, are you going Liberty or are you going to go Aces?
Just the way the Liberties looked, like they just look like a tier above everyone else, which is crazy because the Aces, it's not like the Aces have gotten worse. I know that we had that back and forth with that one player, but I don't see them getting, but the Liberty are just on a tear.
Yeah.
Ionescu is better than Kelsey. Stewie and Asia, obviously they're going back and forth, but just the Liberty just have a little too much firepower, I think.
And Jeremy coming here, helping us out. First round is best of 3. Everything else is best of 5.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, and I had that pulled up because I was going to read it at the end. The first round of the playoffs features a best of 3 format where the higher seed hosts the first 2 games of the series. And if necessary, the lower seed hosts the decisive game 3. So it's a little bit different of a format than I've seen in some others. The semifinals and WNBA finals, both best of 5 format where the higher seed hosts games 1, 2, and 5.
Connecticut's so happy right now. It's like, yeah, we get to sell out. Indiana's like, really? Can we make a rule change?
Yeah, well, I mean, just lose one of the games, and then that way you win at home.
Yeah.
For game 4, you'd be good to go.
Right as I was about to pass it off to Josh, I was like, that's all I have for the WNBA. But we do have a little something left for basketball.
Yeah, so starting, hey guys, you liked Hard Knocks? And you're like, man, I want more of that. So then you got quarterback, and it's like, man, I want more of that. And then you got like 17,000 different receiver, and And then they just did a thing with the Jacksonville Jaguars and all of this. So you're just getting a lot of these documentaries, and you're getting it feels like one after the other. It's like when they had like 7 Snow Whites come out the same year. It's what I feel like with these documentaries, and I'm going to watch every single one of them. But starting 5 Netflix trailer released. This is another Netflix sports doc series that follows Jimmy Butler, Anthony Edwards, LeBron James, Domantas Sabonis. I can't pronounce his first name. Sabonis. We just call him Sabonis. And Jason Tatum during the 2023-24 season. Executive producers are Maverick Carter, LeBron's right-hand man, Peyton Manning, and Barack and Michelle Obama. Set to release October 9th. So my thought is, how much is going to, kind of like with quarterback, it just ended up being at the end of it a lot more focused on Patrick Mahomes, which he was an executive producer on. I have yet to get around to watch the receivers, which I heard was really good things about that. But I just don't know how much is going to be where, as we go through the season, it's going to be very much LeBron heavy at the start and then Jason Tatum at the end because of them winning it. That's where I think the series is going to go. I'm not mad about it. I mean, LeBron is a cash cow, as much as people like to gripe about him, but he's split down the middle. You have 50-50 of people who adore him and think he's the greatest thing and want all the content that they can, and the other 50% could care less about seeing his face ever again. So
hate watch him.
Or hate watch him. Yeah. So there's gonna be a lot of hate watchers and be like, I told you, he stubbed his toe and like had one tear, and they're like, I told you he's soft, and just something like that.
One thing that I liked in the trailer is Jimmy Butler with his hair straightened. I was just like, oh yeah, that was the thing, and that was hilarious.
Emo Jimmy.
Emo Jimmy.
Yeah, he was emo because they didn't get Damian Lillard in the offseason, so he was just depressed during the media. That's why. Yeah,
he was listening to Hawthorne Heights.
Yeah.
Cut my wrist and black my eyes.
My eyes.
But Jeremy Miller, who may or may not be listening to Hawthorne Heights, I'd imagine they will do a baseball one following a pitcher, also hockey and soccer goaltender. I mean, it just makes sense for them to kind of franchise this out. One really cool thing with quarterback, the reason why Mahomes was executive producer is because he started his own production company, so that way he can control his footage. So he actually had more of a say-so of what footage got used in that. And I think that might be the mold. I think you're going to see a lot more of these athletes as they're building their own brand through social media, their own following, and even seeing it with a lot of these guaranteed contracts. They know what their revenue share is, and they either ask for it and demand it and get it, or they create it themselves. And so it's gonna be good. The Obamas being a part of it, that's weird.
Yeah.
They did one of the other movies, but I mean, it's a good cash revenue that.
And Obama loves basketball.
He does love basketball.
Yeah, I love basketball.
Here's the deal. I'm going to produce a Netflix series, and that's all I can do. That's it. That's all I can do.
And you speaking to that too, like Maverick Carter, LeBron's right hand man, he's a part of it. I believe it's their production company as well. So we know if any of the 5 are gonna have say so about what is being filmed about them and what comes across, it's gonna be LeBron.
Yeah, like I said, so I this probably wouldn't have got off the ground if they didn't have LeBron attached to it, even though I don't know why it wouldn't. But yeah, if you're gonna start off the series with bang, to carry it on, you have to have LeBron involved.
Yeah, if it doesn't end with the draft,
right,
and LeBron's son, Bronny getting drafted to the team, then they're missing a golden opportunity. Because then that could just be like a good leeway into next season. And it's interesting with these, they don't really tell, they don't let it known throughout the season who's doing what. So even like this last year for receiver, people thought that there was just going to be a second season of quarterback. And so it wasn't until the end that, there was a little bit of, discussion or conversation about it, kind of in the media. But yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, they want to try to separate the game from some of the footage, but at the same time, you got cameras everywhere now. I mean, you're in the mix, so why not just give us all the content we want? The ones that want to watch it are going to watch it. The ones that hate watch it, it's weird, but I mean, I guess support them. Ironically, I don't know. Idiotas, man.
Yep.
Viewers are viewers. If you know, they, especially it's good when your haters even watch it. It's like I don't care, money in my pocket.
It's like negative comments are still comments and boost engagement for us. So if you
Yeah.
want to call us bitches, put it down in the below.
Do it. I dare you. I dare you. GIF.
Give me all the Cowgirls bullshit that you can. I'm
Yeah.
already dead inside as it is as a Cowboys fan, so you're not gonna hurt me.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, negative comments, positive residuals.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Controversy, Chris Cash. All right. So I guess moving on here, Tushka, we had some crazy news in the journalism world of the NBA. Kind of tell us a little bit about the Woj bomb is retiring.
Yeah, Woj, of course. Everybody knows this. Retires from media to become a GM of the men's basketball program at St. Bonaventure. St. Bonaventure is his alma mater. He said, "It is a thrill of a lifetime to be able to return to the university and community that I love in a role of service to our student athletes, coaches, and institution." Wojnarowski told ESPN, "I am hopeful that I can bring value in a lot of areas to our basketball program and open doors for our young men's future in ways both professionally and personally." Very heartwarming. And who the fuck are these people?
Yeah. So Woj is the guy. So basically, he's like the Adam Schefter of the NBA, or the Rappaport of the NBA. So basically, he's the guy that breaks stories and stuff. Now, there's a guy named Shams. I can't pronounce his last name. They just call him Shams. But he also breaks NBA stuff. And so Woj was the guy. They called him Woj bombs, and because he would basically break everything for like if you followed the NBA draft, Woj would tweet out who they're drafting before they announced the draft pick. Which I found a little annoying, but that's just kind of how he was. And so, people just they call him Woj bombs because he comes out of nowhere because he breaks all these crazy deals that happen. And it's just because you see all these rumors, especially like Woj being the top guy, and he's earned that spot. He worked his butt off. Schefter, basically kind of talked about it. He was like, now he actually gets to be there for Christmas because he had to be on his, basically work. He's like, you live the job. You didn't have a family life because he's like, he had his phone like stuck to his shower door as he was taking a shower to make sure he doesn't miss that text from some source of some deal going on. Like it was 24/7 that the guy did, which sounds like a dream job, but any job is a job. Doesn't matter how dreamy it is. And the fact that it basically was your life, I don't know what that, like a lot of times you see that with coaches and stuff like that. And all this guy did was basically just break stories 10 seconds before the rest of the world was going to find out about it anyway. But he was the first one to do it. So he's synonymous with it. So, I mean, we're talking about him for a reason. And plus on Twitter, as soon as it was kind of like where it was like he's retiring. And then like you saw like the whole day was just taken over just about this guy that tweets out news was retiring. If you put it in that perspective, it's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and his wife went to the alma mater. He graduated in 91, his wife in 92. My big question is, who broke the news?
Schefter.
Right? Who tweeted this out first? Yeah, suck it, Woj.
I think it was either
Can you report your own news?
No, it's either Pete Thamel or Adam Schefter.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised Schefter's. I mean, he loves what he's doing, but he says like Schefter says he only gets like 4 hours of sleep at night. Like it's just nuts.
Yeah, probably. Like I mean, him. Some of the other, the insiders.
Rappaport for NFL.
It's got to be so
Network.
exhausting.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine. Like I don't even like updating my family and friends on stuff like that all the time. Like I can't imagine just random shit. Just oh my god, hey, we heard this, we heard that, and then there's probably a lot of secrets you got to hold on to as well.
Yeah.
Because of NDAs and even some of the politic and kind of in that or even tampering where you just legally can allow some of the information to get disseminated. But more power to them. Enjoy retirement, bud.
If you thought these guys didn't have influence, literally, Schefter tweeted out that Tom Brady was retiring, and so Tom Brady came back for one final year just so Schefter wouldn't be right.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me any differently because that's exactly how the timeline went. Because he basically came out, said that he was retiring. Brady was like, sure. And then people are like, but Brady didn't get to break it. It had to be Schefter. And then And then next thing you know, like a week later, he's like, all right, I'm coming back. I'm like, that's just to piss off Schefter. So you can announce that you're retiring by yourself.
Yeah, probably get some money to pay for legal fees too, for his divorce. But yeah, hey, Sheffy, lose my number, bitch.
Yeah, he did. That's exactly what he said. Good callback there.
Yeah.
Didn't Aaron Rodgers tell him that too?
Yeah, it was Rodgers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Soul, what's going on in with Jordan Childs?
Yeah, we got
updates on that, right?
the Jordan Childs. The plot thickens.
Mm-hmm.
So USA Gymnastics released a video showing that USAG did put in the inquiry for Jordan Childs within the time frame. It was like multiple videos at the same time, lined up, everything. We're like, they did put it in time. They weren't lying. But what the videos also revealed is it showed that an inquiry was made for Simone Biles, and the judges failed to submit it. So the judges accepted the inquiry, but then didn't put it through. And people were coming out going, wait, if she would have gotten new points, she might have won gold. And so like that was a big thing on the internet of like, did they screw us out of bronze and a gold medal? But Simone Biles did come forward on Twitter, and she put, honestly, not a big deal for me. Rebecca had a better floor anyways. Upsetting how it wasn't processed, but I'm not mad at the results. But justice for Jordan. You hear me? So we're all fighting here for Jordan Childs. Flava Flav gave her the clock. We got to see that. So it's her bronze medal, and we are never sending it back. So,
no.
But that's the little plot thickening of the Jordan Childs story.
Yeah, out of my cold, dead hands, as they say. With that, but yeah,
I can take you in warm, or I can take you in cold.
Right. Plomo or plata, but that's a different story.
Matata?
That's Pablo Escobar saying. Anyway,
the monkey's his uncle.
Yeah, the monkey's his uncle. I don't know why my brain went to the Pablo Escobar narco stuff. But moving on.
Why does our brain go anywhere? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm kicking my own ass. Do you mind?
Yeah, I'm kicking my own ass.
All right, so we're kicking and screaming.
Let's go over to soccer, le football. But we got some Americans scoring goals. Starting off, we got Christian Pulisic, Captain America, was named man of the match in AC Milan's 4-0 win over Venezia, the recently promoted Venezia, scoring a penalty and assisting a goal. So let's watch.
Glad we can see Americans score goals for other teams instead of the one that we want them to. But that's no here nor there. We're here to highlight them, hopefully in an American jersey, and here in a couple months.
Pulisic's corner, headed at the front post and turned in by Mattia Gabbia. It's the defenders who are doing the hard work for Milan here today.
Here he is in the penalty spot.
Usually assured from the spot. And he makes no mistake. Milan are in total control. Milan are absolutely cruising. It is 3-0 already.
They're absolutely cruising.
A marquee performance.
Just the difference between a British announcer and a Latino announcer. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, that guy's like, yep, he did it. watch a Latino, like, whoa! For 5 hours.
Speaking of which, I think this next one is actually in Spanish. We also have...
we also have something else that Saul is going to tell us here in a second.
Yeah, it's going to be great, guys. I'm telling you.
1.
There she is.
We also have Champions League that started this week with match day 1 of 8 with the new Champions League format and family outside. Christian Pulisic scores the only goal in Milan's 3-1 loss to Liverpool. And then next up for Champions League match, we have Juventus beat PSV 3-1, and this is the first time in Champions League history that a Champions League match featured 5 Americans. We have Juventus has Weston McKennie and Tim Weah. PSV has Ricardo Pepi, Malik Tillman, and Richie Ledesma. We could have had another American, but Serginho Dest is currently injured. He plays for PSV as a right back, but we got a goal from Weston McKennie. I'm going to leave a link down below of CBS's Champions League show with Kate Abdo, Thierry Henry, Jamie Carragher, and Micah Richards, where they attempt to do American accents as they speak about these Americans scoring goals. It's kind of funny, and it shows how bad they are at American accents. So it's not just that we're bad at British accents; they are also very bad at American accents. Going on to our next American scoring goal, Brandon Vasquez scores the first goal in Monterrey's 2-0 win against Santos Laguna in Liga MX. So let's watch that.
Gotta rewind it a little bit.
And we're going back and forth with the English and Spanish.
You know, it was pretty good, and I liked it. What do you think, Bob? You know, I had a pretty good day at work. Oh my God, he scored a goal!
Yeah.
Brandon!
That was funny. Just how does Motto? He was just like, you know, and he passes over here, and then and speaking about passing, did you break wind? I mean, oh my God, he scored a goal! Why did you distract me with your farting? Like, I don't know what he was saying.
And then the next one, he hasn't chosen the U.S. yet, and very well could continue to represent Italy, as he has in the youth system. But Luca Coglioscio scored the only goal in Burnley's 1-0 win against Leeds United, my team. My team lost, but it's fine. It's fine. Luca, choose America to make at least this part happy. Luca Coglioscio.
Shout out to the Pixar film.
And we're just gonna focus in on Luca here. I couldn't find a good
good angle. People are happy.
What did you
Where's
do
this
before
at
he
again?
slid? Did you do like a heart or a circle or?
And he hasn't made a decision to join the U.S. team.
So, this is also his birthday, so he scored on his birthday. Luca is eligible for the U.S. because he was born in the United States, grew up here, and then moved to Spain with his parents for his soccer career. His father is also American. He's also eligible for Italy and Canada through his mother, and got a senior call-up for Canada, but that was when Canada...
Yeah.
That's
They
when
weren't
Canada
in trouble.
discovered syrup and opened up their first Tim Hortons. Actually, evidently, it was kind of crazy.
Where did I end?
Talk about Canada.
Yeah, he got an invite for Canada, but that was before Canada got busted.
All right. Yeah, so Canada's been having money problems. They probably are still having money problems, and they canceled their friendlies. So he never actually got to play for Canada in a friendly, which friendlies do not cap tie players. So he's shown interest there with Canada. He plays for Italy now in the youth system. So I don't think he's going to choose the United States, but when he speaks, he sounds like such American. And like he even like will say Americanisms when he's in interviews, and I'm like, I just need you to choose the United States because you're an American.
If you say dude or bra, you're in.
Yeah.
Dude, you're in the family. Let's go.
Right.
No caps. No cap on God. Dead ass. Whatever the stuff is.
Okay.
I don't know. I was just using Americanism. Oh, okay. We're frozen again.
Yeah.
Let it go.
No, I was
sorry.
saying okay to you though. Like, all right, that's. I mean,
But-
I didn't know we were 20 years old.
Cap tie. What does cactuses have to do with soccer players?
That's when you play a game, it's called a cap, because apparently in the old days they used to give you a cap when you would play. So it's called like Alex Morgan has this many caps for the U.S. women's national team.
All
and
of
then,
them.
all of them. And then when you choose a nation and you can no longer switch to another nation, that's being called cap tied. You're cap tied to that nation. You can no longer choose to represent any other nation. But going
Start wipe, the more you know.
the more
Brought to you by
Hashtag
Soul
clear.
and Rev Sports.
But now we'll go over to Josh's new favorite player now, Trinity Rodman. She scores the third goal in Washington Spirit's 3-0 win against the Houston Dash, and she does a celebration that I think you guys are going to enjoy.
It's the greatest one ever. All right, so everyone just, are you ready
It's
to
cool.
see?
She can actually score. I thought she could only just, pass.
Listen, Sophia Smith is taking notes as I play this video. Okay.
Yeah. Notes on how to not talk like you saying dead ass on God.
It's a pretty good goal.
You can't stop Trinity Rodman. That is fact. Put it on a plaque and hang it above the locker room.
And because we don't have the sound coming through, the announcers are like, night, night, because she's doing Steph Curry there. Night,
Gotcha.
night. Which Messi also did that celebration when he scored a goal. The other day, he just went,
Yeah.
First back heel. This is all about her tenacity.
I mean,
the
look
willingness
at that.
of
I mean,
conviction, but
just
look at that strike.
look at that. I
What
mean,
an
just
unbelievable
gorgeous.
strike this is.
Just look at it.
By being hypercritical, someone has to put their foot through that. Whether that be Patterson,
Top
whether
upper
that
V,
be
just
another player there, Rubenson.
put someone hanging off her
That
arm.
taking nothing away from
Doesn't
that strike
matter.
from Trinity
You
Rodman.
can't stop greatness.
Unbelievable.
And also, this is an
blind
American
shot, too.
crime. The goalkeeper is usually our second or third goalkeeper for the U.S. women's national team.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
and,
you
and
can't
even like a blind shot too,
Mm-hmm.
because she was looking down the whole time. So
Yeah.
And-
decent shot. I mean, anybody can make it.
Well, it's not. Sophia Smith can't make it.
I'm sorry. What? Sorry, my volume was down.
Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't hear me say the first time. I said Sophia. No.
No,
So,
I will.
Sophina.
Look what you did. Now Soul's frozen.
Look, I'm sorry, but when I state facts, it can freeze her screen.
Hey, let it go.
I
it
will.
go.
I will state a fact though here. This is the third week in a row we're talking about a Trinity Rodman goal.
Hang it in the loo.
I mean, you guys are the ones picking the highlights, so
All right, if you find me a Sophia highlight for next week, which is going to be few and far between, we can put it in the thing too. He's looking
I
up
would
right
like
now.
to say that these two they don't represent my Trinity Rodman Sophia Smith views. I love both of them. They're both amazing. Sophia did not score a goal this past week, but we still love Sophia Smith, and we love Mallory Swanson and Lynn Williams and all of our forwards. But
Just
the
one
next
happens to be the best one.
the next one we're gonna speak about is Ashley Sanchez. She scored in North Carolina's 1-1 draw against Bay FC, making her the first ever NWSL player to score a goal on every NWSL against every NWSL team. So she's played. She's actually Trinity Rodman's best friend, and they were on the Washington Spirit together, and then she got traded to North Carolina. But she has played and scored against every team, which is kind of a feat. But let's watch this goal.
Nice.
Carolina!
Find them corners.
The North Carolina
And she was able to equalize.
way to level this match.
Yeah.
And Ashley Sanchez does the honors.
It's nut stuff there. So how long is?
Well, this starts from a long, direct attack.
Oh, by the way, I did see where Alex is going to play in that TBT style soccer tournament they just started.
TST.
The TST, yeah, they
Yeah.
did. I forget who reached out to her, and she's like, "Already got your
Yeah.
text."
So someone was just like, Heather O'Reilly, you should add Alex Morgan to your TST team, and she was like, I've already messaged her.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
that
That does not conclude it. Okay. I don't know if you could see this. Goals. That's weird. That's weird. Why is this person above that person? This person's played more games. Why have they not scored more goals? Oh, but it's cool. We'll play video of it.
Look at number 1. It's your girl Temo Chewinga of Kansas City.
Dude, Chewinga's killing it, and Kansas City was packed house. There was incredible drone footage flying through the crowd. They're on fire right there. I'm excited for them.
I mean, it's simple as it is. Trinity is she's a woman of the people, and she wants everyone else to succeed.
Wow. What would her father Dennis think of that statement there, sir?
Well, I'm not gonna. Nope, not gonna touch it. Not gonna touch that. That's a rabbit hole that I can. Yeah. Thumbnail.
Yeah, no, right.
That's a rabbit hole I am not going down. Talking about how Robin would think about me misgendering.
I like how you kind of stepped on it and then you heard the click. And you're like, ooh. And I did not move my foot. Landmine.
Well, that is all I have for soccer. Is that all you guys have for soccer?
Until Trinity Robin breaks everything that Sophia started out with, then that's all I got. I can't wait for the U.S. women to play again, which will be in Louisville on October next month.
Both of them are great players.
Yes, they are.
Just one's better because they scored more goals. In less games.
Debatable.
But this is about scoring.
Segue.
We're still talking about balls.
Well done. Yeah. Keep going.
But we're also talking about
like an Archer episode with our phrasing.
That's my Michelle.
That's my Michelle, baby. The weird as hell, and it's great. Shannon Sharp of Football Stardom. Also, podcast extraordinaire now. Him and Ocho, and he's also got his own where he broke the internet with Cat Williams interview. The man is on screen 90% of the day, and for some reason last week it was 99% of the day. Even though you really couldn't see him, you could hear it because Shannon Sharp accidentally went live on Instagram while he was with his Michelle.
That's my Michelle.
That's my Michelle. So yeah, again, you couldn't really see or make out anything, but you definitely heard. You definitely heard the sounds of pleasure. And I mean, look, Unc fucking getting it, dude.
Yeah.
He's getting it, and Michelle's loving it. But at first he said he was hacked. Once one of his team members actually messaged him and was like, "Hey, you're live. Fucking turn your phone off." But so he said that he was hacked. He quickly rebutted that, or retrieved it, anyways. But just admitted to his mistake that he was disappointed in himself. I mean, props for owning it. I mean, like it's one thing like PR. You always try to put a spin. You always try to get ahead of it. You always try to discredit. You know what I mean? Like that's just standard protocol. So for him to do that, and then him and his team basically just kind of meet and be like, just own it. I mean, it's 2024. People want authenticity. We want genuineness. Hey, I fucked up. Left it on, but at least it was a pretty good video for you guys, huh?
Yeah.
But he also goes on to say, what he actually is quoted by saying, he didn't say that. Guys, this was not staged. I came in, I threw my phone on the bed, engaged in an activity. Did not know IG Live. I never been on IG Live. I've never turned IG Live on, so I don't know how it works. And so all of a sudden, my other phone is going off. This is kind of recanting it. It's Sharp's longtime marketing guy who logged to his account, stopped the video, and posted the statement about being hacked. But Sharp wanted to be honest, saying, I said I just got to tell them the truth. My phone was not hacked. It wasn't a prank. It was me being a healthy, active male. And the pre-moment of Zen. Oh, okay. You got this one there, Josh? As he pulls that out, the pre-moment of Zen. Any words for Unc or, kind of on the situation?
I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, mainly, and there were some people that are like, oh, this is so unprofessional. He should be fired, all this. I'm like, he's getting it on, and he's an old man who doesn't know how to use Instagram Live, and he accidentally turned it on. Like, that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how many times people probably did that with other, like, you know how many streamers we see with inappropriate stuff like all the time accidentally. Like, it's just, and I like the fact that in which we're getting ready to play, like where he first was like he got hacked and everyone was like, fuck it, embrace it. Like it was consensual. You weren't technically on screen. You heard a bunch of the other stuff, which is whatever, but it wasn't like anything you did was wrong. It just is embarrassing as hell.
Yep.
You know, that we're gonna point out. I mean, heck, he was on First Take or whatever. I forget the guys that said it, but like literally live on First Take, I think it was today, and he was making some point and talking about how, you know, with this hit, like how you use your hips, and he goes, you not like the guy was like, well, you know how to use your hips. So he, you know, he was just, and like I forget and again, I'm sorry, I apologize, I forgot your name, because it was a really good zinger that you did. Yes, I use zinger. This is I'm bringing 1940s back. Just at least the sayings, not the other parts that were bad about the 1940s. But basically he went on Twitter after that they pointed that, he was like, if I lose my job at ESPN, this was well worth it. You know, with him telling Shannon Sharp that, well, you know how you can use your hips. Yeah, you're right. So, but this is Shannon on his After Night podcast with Ocho Cinco, which Ocho Cinco is also just a gold mine of content, just of how his personality is. And him and Shannon are hilarious together.
Yeah,
so
they are.
Here you go. And let me unmute it real quick.
If you got that ooh wee, I ain't gonna lie to you, Ocho. If you got that ooh wee, I'm touching bus.
This is a mind game. You got to mind fuck
TNB.
yourself. If you're in the ooh wee, you got to think football, think sports, think something completely opposite of what you're doing. Help you last longer.
Hey, I'm telling you, if you got that ooh wee, I'm Mr. TNB. Touching bus.
Touching bus.
It's your fault. It's your fault. Be mad at yourself because you got that scungy. Be mad at yourself.
You're going to end up in the group chat.
That's
That ain't
all
a
right.
good look,
That's
man.
all right. Ocho, what you want me to do? If you got that ooh wee, man, you know you ain't lasting no longer. You ain't lasting long with that ooh wee. If you got that ooh wee,
so good.
PB, touching bus.
That's my Michelle, baby.
That's my Michelle.
But yeah, I mean, I just like that we're kind of in this kind of day and age where we're not like fake polite, because that's a lot of it. It's like with PR. Oh well, you've got to appease to everybody, so you don't want to offend, you know, the super, you know, prudes in the world. You know, but I mean, I just like when people can just be themselves. I mean, if you don't like it, don't watch it. There's so much content out there for us to choose. Like, talk about hate watching earlier. It's like, just change the channel. You all right? I mean, go to another streaming source. Go to another video, another social media platform. I mean, there are billions of hours of content you can watch. So just make that choice. But, you know, for him to not suffer any consequences from his employer as ESPN, even though he's got his own shit going that really at this point he doesn't need that ticket. You know, but I'm just happy for the guy, man. It's because that could have been real bad. It could have been mishandled. And you know, I mean, it could have been spun around in a lot of different ways. But I think him getting in front of it, him and his team made the right choice on that. But yeah, do you guys got anything else before we wrap up?
That was just reminding me a little bit of like Chris Evans. He accidentally posted, this was years ago, he meant to post another picture and he posted a dick pic online and immediately took it down. But people screenshotted that real quick. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, that was my fault. I'm sorry. And everyone was like, yeah, that's fine. I just now have your dick saved on my phone.
It's my screensaver. It's just floating.
Yeah. And the thing is like kind of embracing the craziness of that type of area where it's kind of embarrassing. But I mean, you think about it, Kim Kardashian's famous for those type of, that kind of got famous from that. And that's how we have to keep up with Kardashians. Literally like a month ago, this little girl was drunk on Broadway in Nashville. Someone decided to stick a microphone in her face, and she said, what, Tushka? That's right. And now she's got a podcast. She's got people in agencies and stuff with her. She's traveling around the world because she's embracing it. And plus, if you take your 15 minutes of fame, and if you have at least something to offer other than just a soundbite, then you can run with it and embrace it. So, not to say everyone go out there and do those type of things, okay? But just take a bad situation and spin it in your direction and embrace it, because that's going to come off more genuine to the audience. So therefore, we're going to like you more, especially if it's not bad, okay? If it's not, some assault or something like that, where, you're doing something bad. Yes, it's embarrassing, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. And it's not like they're putting it out there on purpose. Like, so, I mean, Kim Kardashian got leaked. The Hawk Tour girl, she just made a funny joke. So.
Well, yeah, we'll spit on that thing. So, what you got for us before we sign off?
Well, are you guys ready for our moment of Zen?
Yeah, and then before we do our moment of Zen, guys, I do have to say we did it. We've reached a milestone. We are officially at 100 followers.
Sure.
Thank you all so much for keeping up with us on this journey and keeping it growing. I always say, kind of quoting Bobby Burgers, hopping on the rocket ship and following us to the stratosphere and then past the Milky Way. But you can follow us on all Twitters, Instagrams, and all of that. We're definitely kind of getting that ramped up. But every little thing takes time, especially with us. Unfortunately, this isn't our day job yet. But with your all's help, we would like it to be more of that. But if anything, we have this show on every Wednesdays at 9, where we wrap it up, and Soul freezes every once in a while. But it's okay; it's part of the show. I think it's kind of a running gig character now. And then we have, obviously, during fantasy football season, we have fantasy F around with me and Tushka as we break down all the things that is fantasy football. And if you want to see grown men cry, especially if they start out 0-2 like this guy did, you can join in and see that happen. Yes, exactly. No, and where we're losing, it's my fault. It's not yours. So I wouldn't I'm not going to put you part of the loss, because I blame it on myself. With that. And then we also have me and Justin every Thursday at 8 Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. Yes, I did that backwards according to ABC, but I don't care. But we go there and talk about any things that is, was, and will be in wrestling. And then also, like I said before, we are going to do our first joint live stream for Bad Blood on October 5th or 3rd. I forget the date on the back of my but it's going live at 6 Central, 7 Eastern there. So you can just join us there and watch along with us on that. And then we have the game dudes. Thank you. And we will be doing that on the Discord. Yeah, you can join us on the Discord. It's free. You don't have to do a Patreon or anything like that. So join, and we talk about literally everything on there. We shoot the breeze and all that. So it's just a nice time to chill with people, talk about topics you want to talk about, and fuck around, because that's what we do. And also, we have the game dudes, like I was saying, and then I think that's it. I might have. Oh yeah. And if you want to do anything with YouTube and stuff, as we garner, if you want to help, we will love for you to be a part of this channel and help you out growing and producing and stuff like that. So join us over there in the Patreon, patreon.com/RuckusEV, and help us reach a 500.
I like it. I mean,
I like it.
We could have shared. We could have shared some of that load. Not that kind of load, but yeah. So what do you got for us? What is the moment of Zen?
Go ahead and play it for us, Josh.
It's the boys.
Declan Rice red card versus Brighton.
I tweeted out, I thought this was a ridiculous call. Everybody came out after, at the Cooligans account.
Assuming it was me.
Assuming it was you. But I assumed you probably felt the same way.
Bruh, the ball was moving.
The ball was moving. he's kicking the ball into Declan Rice.
He took out a free kick on my goddamn rice. Somebody swipe at my rice. You know what I do as a Latino, bro? I'm gonna fork you, bro. I'm gonna jam you with that fork, man.
You getting forked up.
Yeah.
It was a terrible call. I don't even understand. Like,
it's stupid,
that
bro.
people are like, letter of the law. He
What
had a
letter?
yellow.
What law? The ball was still moving.
The ball was moving.
You know what I say to you? Zero ball knowledge. I say that back to you.
Everybody's like, no, but dude, the book says that we should.
Yeah.
This is you now?
Yeah.
This is who you want to be?
Bro, I always knew you was a nerd like that, bro.
What are we
Cop,
doing?
you a cop. Dork. Federale.
Declan Rice, red card versus Brighton.
I tweet.
Don't know what they were saying, but I know what we're saying. Later, everybody. Y'all have a good one. Follow us at Ruckus EV everywhere. We'll see you at the next one. Peace.